What's up? A1 Black, what's happening, bro? Dre, where you at? Hey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Skool in the Game, the second episode. We come back here to the barbershop today to chop it up. Got some really great cast members and a wonderful guest for us here tonight. But before we get into that, I want to say something. Here in the barbershop, we lost someone near and dear to us, a co-worker, a brother, a friend, Mr. Keith Phillips. Passed away at the young age of 55 years old, and it's most definitely been felt. And we wanted to send our condolences to his family, to his friends, and to his clients, and let them know that Keith was a heck of a dude, and he will be sorely and dearly missed. His presence was one that you could count on from day to day. It's gonna be some sarcasm and it's gonna be some joking throughout that day if Keith is at work. You know what I'm saying? He was an excellent barber, extremely detailed, client friendly, and a class act in all ways. Somebody that you could talk to and somebody you could count on and depend on. And those are few and far between in this world in this lifetime. So we want to put a salute out to Mr. Keith Phillips and to the Phillips family and let them all know that Keith's presence will be missed, but we are going to do everything we can to make sure that his spirit lives on here at Stevie J's. Now, I want to introduce a special guest, somebody that I met probably about maybe 7 years ago. And over the years, we maintained and stayed in touch through conversation and through social media. And this is somebody I follow. I look at his movement. I look at the things that he's engaged in, and he's always stayed interesting to me. He's an entertainer as well, but he's always stayed interesting to me, and he's always stayed community based. When you take on the agenda of community, it's often a lonely position because people will talk about what they want to do, but not many people will do anything about the things that they talk about doing. And he's somebody that I see has consistently maintained the same energy and the same voice as to what it is he's seeking and pursuing. And I admire that because in our community, someone has to stand up. And when you understand that everyone's not going to stand up, you have to look to those beacons of light and those that are willing to stand up and face what comes at them head on. You have to salute that person and understand that they're taking on the challenges for all, but they up there with very few numbers. So he's somebody that I wanted to give the opportunity to come and speak to the masses, speak to our audience, as well as speak to his own people and let them know kind of some of the stuff that he's got going on here. So allow me to introduce Mr. Ricky Perry.
I'm from Dallas by way of Oak Cliff. Raised up in like 7 years in South Dallas, Bunton. The rest of my years in Oak Cliff, it's been a real interesting ride for us to, as Brother Mike say, doing the community-based thing, because I feel that as we move forward, there needs to be another level of unity to this thing, another level of what I call cognitive ability, another level of intuition, to come together to be able to move and groove. And once again, my name is Ricky Perry, and tonight I'd like to talk about reparations and political unity. And shout out to everybody, shout out. I really like Brother Mike's clothing line at Skool. I be looking at it like, dang, he put that together pretty cool. But I know that's another subject, but appreciate y'all for having me. We moving and grooving.
Again, my name is Cedric. I'm on the second podcast. My guys in here, they all know me as the Blind Sensation, of course. And sensationalism is what I bring. I just want to take a minute to tell you guys again, I'm from New Orleans, and I'd like to give a special shout out to this young man who's sitting to the left of me, Rick Perry, for the courageous undertaking. And certainly, if this is going to be the platform to help bring about the catalyst that's going to actually cause some change, or at least bring some attention, I'm just happy to be a part of it all. Thank you once again, guys.
Once again, it's Cadillac here. Just bringing rebuttals and questions from the different perspectives of a man's world. And I'm excited to be a part of this cast and meet the new guy, young man that's had already used some big words that I didn't understand. So, I'm eager to learn about the reparations as well and ask questions.
I'm Travis, aka Barber T Rock, the loudmouth, opinionated, community-minded as well, though, and very focused on the uplifting of my people. Uh, Also, the cigar expert here on the cast. Shout out to Definition Cigars for the care package they dropped off.
Yeah, fellas. Hey, man, we here in the barbershop today, man. We here. School in the gang is well represented. We're missing one of our compadres, Miss Maya, the Scarlet Butterfly. She was a little under the weather, but blessings to her and get well, baby. We'll see you next time. But we gonna have some fellas talking here today.
All right.
Mr. Brother Rick, man, you called me about 4 or 5 weeks back, and you told me it was time. You was getting ready to jump on out there, and you was ready to make your voice heard, and that you wanted people around this city to know that there's a need for a conversation about these reparations. Now, I myself, I've been in tune to the reparations movement, the last decade or so, because it's been one to me, it's a fire that keeps coming up, but they conveniently put that fire out every chance and opportunity that they get. They standing there with a fire extinguisher every time we spark it up. You're the first person that I've seen or heard that has introduced reparations starting at a local level. Most times we hear it at the presidential and the federal level. You're attacking it or approaching it from a local and city-based level. You're going talking to the politicians in our city, alerting them that, look, we understand what we're due and what we're owed, and you're bringing the conversation to their doorstep. Since they're not coming to us, you're going to them. Can you expound and let our listeners and viewers know what it is that you've undertaken?
Well, actually, Texas, right? Texas is kind of like its own government on the cool. When you really look at it, even looking at it now, if you perceiving, what I'm saying, you see Texas at its own government anyway. So actually, Texas can make a move, and then the rest of the world will follow. You know what I'm saying? Especially Dallas. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the community, like community-based community for the marches, for the gun clubs. I have background with the Panthers. I was part of Guerrilla Mainframe. We work with the Muslim brothers, feeding, everything it is to do. I've done community-based to be able to get that schooling, what I'm saying, kind of put myself through that schooling, earn my receipts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, in doing that, I'm like, wait a minute, we're kind of like our own government. We just don't really realize it kind of yet. You know what I'm saying? Because our mind is focused on other things. And then too, we just don't realize it yet. You know what I'm saying? But pretty much moving for reparations, I feel, okay, let me back up. Political unity, because I want to talk about how political unity leads to reparations, because we just can't really ask for reparations with no political unity. You know what I'm saying? We have to be together there.
I like that. You hit on that.
Okay. So I'm gonna say a couple controversial things right now.
The barbershop ain't nothing controversial in here. Free speech zone.
I knew it was a deadly mistake to get Trump out of office. I seen what they did. I seen when black people cut it for Trump. I see what everybody was in the movie, the pictures, everything with Trump. What happened is they changed the perception. And, CNN is, what I'm saying, when you think about it, they some bad, you know what I'm saying? They could cause the whole world to look another way while they do this. So I seen the perception, and there was a lot of people that was, like myself, that was hollering out about that. You know what I'm saying? But politically, right then, starting with Trump, I felt that was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have been looking at emotionally. They play us off our emotions, right? So now, at this next level, we can't move emotionally. You know what I'm saying? We can't move emotionally because that's connected to our political unity. Because guess what? I seen a lot of black men like, I think something wrong. Something could be wrong. And I see the women like, no, Biden, Kamala, woo, 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 woo. And I seen how they created a lot of decision in the households too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so even in our household, we have to come together on that. And so moving right along, now here's Biden. Kamala hasn't been seen. Have anybody heard from Kamala?
No, she's not very visible.
Black women, anybody? Kamala. Crickets, you know what I'm saying? Millions chucking and pearling. Don't make sense now. You know what I'm saying? Now, me, I sat back, but I'm like, now this time I'm not gonna sit back. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna yell. At least if our people run off the cliff again, be like, well, that one yelled.
Right. He said something.
That one said, that one
something.
wasn't trick. That one was, and so, and that'll give me some more what I call sugar in the game, to be able to move forward. So that's pretty much, kind of like that in a nutshell.
Okay, man. Unity is one of those words. It's only 5 letters, man, but it's a huge word because what you're asking is, large amounts of people, ideas, and mindsets to align, to support an idea or an ideology. And we all know that's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. It's one of the things that's been one of the major weights around our neck as a community, the lack of unity. So when I look at unity and I think of unity, what you're talking about, it is correct. We do have to have an agenda that we can agree upon before we move forward to the next step of actual putting policies in place to collect on these ideas that we have. I'm a believer of something what I call the circle of influence. In my mind, it's gonna be hard to get the whole city of Dallas to unite. But if the community in which I live in, if I can rally that community, and you, in the community in which you live, you can rally your community on the idea, I don't have to sell your people on the idea. And the framework of what we're trying to get to, all of the ideas don't necessarily have to be the same. They need to be similar. But if your people, if we have, okay, Rick, you want reparations, I want reparations. You got, 4 square miles of people that listen to you, believe in you, think what you're talking about is correct, and they're willing to go forward and do something about it. Bet. I got me 3 to 5 square miles of people that I somewhat have a level of influence over. I need to get my group together. And what we need to do is we need to have a coalition of individual groups, whereas I don't have to come to Oak Cliff and sell people on the idea that I'm selling. You've already got your people to buy into what you're talking about, and now we, as those individual leaders of those particular groups, we just bring our groups to the table. Now, once again, we may have a 20 line agenda that we want. Now, our 1 through 12 might be the same, but 13 through 20 might be somewhat different or somewhat similar. Well, as the leaders of those sects or those sections, what we need to do is we need to compromise on those numbers of the things that we may have that aren't the same, compromise some of those in so that we can get some of those at least. We might not be able to sell everybody on everything, but the main things that we going for, we need to get those unified so that when we come together and we take, so now we got 147,000 people that believe in what we talking about based around 17 to 20 different groups or organizations. When we come together, we're 147,000. It don't matter that I got 13,000, you got 16,000. It don't matter because we all together as 147,000. And I didn't have to sell those people on anything. They're the person that they believed in, or their section leader, or whatever the label would be, they've got them sold on that. Look, you want reparations in your community, or you feel that as though the people of this country and the people of this state of African descent, African slave descent, should be awarded some governmental, or not just governmental, but corporational, because it's a lot of these big corporations that benefited off need to cough up some bread too. If you believe that they need to put money in the coffer to be dispersed amongst us, the person in your section, that's who you dealing with. We're all, as leaders, we coming together and we taking our numbers, and we're going to let these people know we have a coalition of people backing us that says something needs to be done. That's my idea of unity, because I just believe it's too hard to paint a movie screen. I'd rather just paint that TV. It's a lot smaller. I can handle that. But if we get enough of them TVs stacked around each other, now we got a big old movie screen.
And the votes. And that's the political unity, our votes. You know what I'm saying? The next time we voting, we need to be having agenda. Our vote is for sale. Our vote is valuable now. We just don't run to the, and vote on anything unless it has something to do for us. We don't care about streets, potholes. We don't care about symbolisms, chucks, pearls, none of that. Where is the money and where is the resources? And that's what I think. I think all black people right now, what we going through right now, can agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And I got a little joke I tell people. Oh, I ain't tripping on reparations. When we come around with the tablet, you sign right here that you ain't tripping on reparations. So when they give them out, yours go back into the. I ain't found nobody yet they wanted to sign. You know what I'm saying? Not yet. Yeah, okay.
I want to ask you a question, if I may, Rick. With the reparations for you, right? What does reparations look like for you? I mean, what's the framework, the setup? You know what I mean? And how is that dispersed?
The first thing I know that they for sure can do is just stop. Let's stop all the taxes. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop all the taxes first. See, we can take away some stuff before we even get physical stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop all the taxes. Now, y'all know all this in here on the cool. Finna go a little, it's energy, right? So all this is really cents on a penny. All this here coming here from the earth anyway, right? So y'all can really stop the taxes and y'all can lower all this.
A question on that. I'm glad you mentioned the taxes aspect of it, because that's something that many people have been talking about, the legalization of it, and is it even a responsibility for taxpayers to pay taxes? But here's what I found during my stint in business. Many times tax credits are issued for certain programs, like in this new DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. These big corporations are getting tax credits, right? So, if not stop the taxes, how would you say we can kind of get the boys on the big side to buy in? Because obviously they're the ones that are influencing legislation. Has the movement, the reparation movement, in which you're talking about right now, has it begun to get some of the ears of these boys in the state capitol or what have you?
It's two places actually right now that's gaining. Well, people in California, if you ain't heard, are already getting reparations. And right now, who's next runner up is Chicago. If you watch Chicago and pay attention, they down there like, nah, there's no way y'all bringing these immigrants into our house, giving them $9 grand a month, letting them live in our buildings and stuff. Black people ain't got our reparations. When we down here, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a good thing because it's causing Chicago to have to come together. Because guess what? As long as they keep on doing what they do in the community, killing each other and doing all that stuff, right? The government can do whatever. They can take whatever billions they want and house whatever buildings. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't doing nothing but going to war. So it's forcing a moral aspect in Chicago, and I really cover that. So when I seen it, that's another thing that really made me. I'm like, Dallas finna. Now we finna speak too. You know what I'm saying? Like, where is ours? Like, we built this on our back. It's old.
You know what? And I like that. That. I think that the fact that the state of California and, like you said, now Chicago, that they've already introduced the possibility of it being real. Because I look at it like, okay, Texas is a huge state. Texas is huge, encompassing many, many counties. So what we need is, as well as us up here working on Dallas, we need to have affiliates in Austin, affiliates in Houston. All the cities that are populated with heavy African American populations. All of those cities need to have people that are an understanding that, look, if we're gonna get this passed as a state, your stronghold, you in a city with, Houston got what, 5 million people? If it's, 2.5 million, 3 million black people, we need to have a coalition of people. We're not gonna get everybody to stand on it, because a lot of people said they don't care about reparations, don't think you're gonna get no reparations, whatever. Like I said, we're not trying to drag no dead weight, no way. But we need to get a few 100,000 people out of that represent that city. So as we take it to the city level, they taking it to the city level. Eventually, we work our way to Austin, and you talk to the state level senators and House of Representatives to get that money out. Because one of the things I can say that we see, when the government want to issue money, they can issue money. They tell us one thing, but that quarantine with the COVID outbreak, That showed whenever they want to cut checks, they can cut checks. So no longer is it, well, where we gonna get the money from? Y'all just went and got a bunch of bread that y'all gave everybody at the drop of a dime. So you can't tell me or sell me on the idea that there's no money available anymore. And if you was able to write everybody that qualified for a check now, when you put the filter on it and realize that there are plenty of people in this country of other races that don't have to get none of that money, the money is there.
Mm-hmm. You know what? And Trump said it. Trump said fake news. He said fake news, like the wars, all that, COVID, all that's fake. You know what I'm saying? Her, you know what I'm saying? Fake news. I'm trying to tell y'all it's fake news. This is why they coming for me. Fake news. I'm trying to get y'all the money. Her.
But at the same time, it's you know, and this is where I go back to the political unity, and I would, like he said, what does reparations look like? Political unity to me looks like us not necessarily kowtowing to either the Trump or Biden's agenda and having our own political party, that addresses our interests. So, but in order to do that, we gotta, you know, and that's another thing. What does reparations look like? The education behind that, like not just getting the money, but what you gonna do with it? How we gonna build infrastructure within? How we gonna build an actual black community that actually has infrastructure?
Like, see, I like how you put that, because before you can get reparations, you got to come up with a plan of unification.
Right.
And until we can unify, you know, because as you look back on many of these different ethnicities, right, and you can go down the whole list of them, okay, too many for me to name in this short segment here, but they all have one common thread. They are unified, okay? And one of the things that I looked at many years ago, back in 2010, they came out with a consensus, and you can pull it up anytime, right? And they showed the 3 different businesses that are owned by the various minorities. Well, Asians had 5.6 trillion, Hispanics at the time had 3.8 trillion, and African Americans, which made up the most businesses in terms of legal names, had 1.9 trillion. Now we know for a fact that probably 65% of the wealth in the Asian community comes by way of the black dollar, okay? So if you could just take 1/3 of that 5.6 trillion, okay, and then redistribute that money, or so much reinvest that money into the black community, the black businesses, now you're on par with everybody, because now everybody's got 3.8 trillion. We even talk about the Hispanic aspect of it. So it goes back to, where's the plan of unification? Because they all know we can give you all this money in 48 hours, less than 48 hours, it'll be right back in the hands of the people who gave it to you, because we go out, we spend, and we don't answer the question, what's my end game? See, so we need to also be able to, because at the end of the day, for it to work, we've got to have a certain level of responsibility for how to manage those finances. So what's your thought process in terms of, you know, if with the reparations, just like my man T-Rock over here said, the educational aspect of it. So it's a big job. It's a big elephant to bite off of, you know. So what's your thoughts on that?
My perception, I would say the education to me is in the people who's ready to act, because we already educated, right? We got to come together. I seen it. I seen people yell, but then come together and yell, right? I watch plenty of movies. I ain't never seen it in real life. I watched a movie where one wolf howled, and I seen one 15, right? Very big difference. So I would feel that the people like myself and others, or others who are even cognitive of it, just really need to come together and just yell, because our people are down right now, man. Our people are struggling. Our people are going through. When they hear that howl, I'm telling you right now, it's on us too by default, the energy. Even spiritually, it's our time to really eat. I know it for sure. I feel it right here. That's why I'm going for it, because it's like, even energetically, like, I'm finna go somewhere, like the trees, the birds, just me getting up. I'm like, yeah, it's time. But we just gotta yell though. It's time. I'm like, I know it for sure. You know what I'm saying? And so we take what we have, and you mentioned the end game. The end game. The end game is for us, you know, who's in the know, right? Because we will receive whatever blessings comes first for the fight. That's the thing about jumping in the fight when nobody else do it. If you win, You get what they call back in the day the first booty. You get the first, right? Right, first in, first win, and then don't be selfish and whoop. You see what I'm saying? So I'm coming from that mind frame. For sure, me and mine gonna be the first in, and the end game is get this land, and start building with what we know, our ideas. Myself, I put myself through 10 years of this active community, so I'm connected to land, whoop, greenhouse, whoop, different, I done studied the container homes. I studied everything as a blueprint, down from spiritually to the shoes, to the bottom of the feet. And the end game is gonna be that, the land and building, us coming together as black men and building on our own land and protect it, standing in our might.
When the question you asked said is very, very, very profound because it's important. When we did the quarantine, that brought so many things to light because it was nothing but time to sit and think because you couldn't go nowhere, couldn't really do nothing. So along the same period of time I came up with my clothing line, I also came up with a reparations plan that I posted on my Facebook page. It was just asking a lot of questions. And then I had a stated plan. But to what your question was about how do you what's the educational responsibility of that? See, I would look at any dispersal of reparations would have to come with a mandatory class. You're gonna have to go and get the education that's laid out before you that will contain financial literacy, taxes, land acquisition. These are all a certain group of classes that you would have to take and complete as a step in getting your money. Okay, basically, if I myself, Michael Hamilton, if I'm deemed you're eligible because of your ancestry through such and such, such and such. If I'm deemed as eligible, I have to go and complete this, and this, whatever it is. But my educational training would have to be checked off and completed in order for me to move on. Because what that does now, it takes the onus off the issuers of the funds. And when I say the issuers of the funds, this is going to be governmental and corporational because it's any corporation that's linked to any business that profited off of slavery, you got to cough up some bread and put up and feed off into the kitty. The government does owe us, correct. But these corporations, they definitely owe us. All the money they've made based upon the insurances and the products that they sold, all of that profited off of slavery, they have to feed off into this fund. Once the fund has been established as to what the amount is, you've been deemed eligible, you have to clear these. I have to be properly identified. You have to complete your educational training. You have to, whatever the last leg may be before you're eligible to get your money. Now you've completed, you got all things completed, boom, now your dispersal of your whatever the package is put together. I myself don't believe it should be all cash. I think cash should be a large portion of it, but land acquisition should be made a part of the package. Life insurance should be made a part of the package, and tax relief should be made a part of the package. So you're getting a monetary deposit, you're getting some form of land grant or ability to acquire land, and you're going to get an education on the taxes, and you're going to be exempted from some taxes per the conversation you were having about the tax relief. I think if you implement that to each and every individual that is deemed eligible for that, I think we as the people have the opportunity to take what we get and actually sustain and do something with it. Now, once again, if you mess it off, that's on you. Once you've been reimbursed, it's yours to do whatever you choose or whatever you will. But understand that this was the dispersal of that. You know what I'm saying? How you handle it is going to be important to you. It's going to be some going to crash and burn with it. It's some that's going to build and sustain with it. That just come with it. But I do believe that we don't need just money. We don't need just money. I believe land acquisition is important, man. I watch a lot of informative videos, read a lot of stuff about the amounts of land that is unoccupied in the United States. It's a lot of states that most time we don't populate. I understand that. But this state property in each and every state that the state has just deemed and taken for themselves and made it state parks, property of the state, things of that nature. Well, because we got cut out of our initial 40 acres in the mule, they never had to pony that up. It's other people got those lands that we were rightfully supposed to get. So I need a piece of land to be I need a nice segment of land to be dispersed so that can be my family's homestead or my family's nest egg. Now, if I choose to take that piece of land, acquire it, and sell it, that's on me. Once again, I was given it. I didn't do nothing with it. There's no longer anybody else's responsibility. But I do believe we deserve that. And life insurance. You know, one of the things I've learned over time is that a lot of the wealthy acquire their wealth from inheritances and insurance. You know, when people in our community have died, a lot of times there hasn't been anything to pass on other than material items. You could have this dresser out the house. You could have that car. You could stay at Granny. You get Granny house. Those are all good things. But what if Granny would have had $1 million insurance policy that she split amongst her 5 kids? Now those 5 kids got $200,000 apiece. An opportunity to take that money and do something and move forward, invest, acquire, things of those nature. We need stuff that's going to be not only self-sustaining but regenerating. So I'm gonna make us some more money. You know, the reparations thing stands strong because even if I can't benefit from it, I want my kids or my grandkids to be able to benefit from it. And I want all people that hear this and even think about it to think in those terms. If you have the mindset that reparations ain't gonna do nothing for me or I ain't worried about no reparations, think about others outside of yourself. What could your grandson or your granddaughter do with $175,000? You know, $400,000, $2.3 million, whatever the number come out to be. Just think about that and how this isn't something that you're asking for undeserved. This is something that was promised to us, our ancestors, promised to us, denied, and kept. When you watch other races and other countries receive monies from this country.
Other races in this country.
And in this country, you see them receive monies and you standing there like, hold up, wait a minute, where mine at? And they consistently pass you by and ignore you as if you don't have a right to that. It's frustrating.
Yeah, you know what? That's why I'm with Texas standing against the border. I'm with Texas because $450 billion a year to, you know what I'm saying, to the immigrants or whatever. Like, nah, let's get our own house first. Let's get us together first. Can we get our high food, our high gas, you know what I'm saying, our can we get us together first? Once we get us together first, shoot, we can invite them in. Hey, bro, that's you 5 Gs, right? You ain't feeling nobody in your house, man. You struggling water off, this off, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, I mean, you know, we just got to start looking at this thing unemotional, right? We got to unprogram ourselves and really go with what I call cognitive common sense now, because it's at hand. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really, really at hand. And I want to add that we actually did a calculation in numbers and stuff. No, it was a long thing. I don't really want to go through it, but right now, Black people, each family with taxes, they remember taxes, interest, remember that, that's from them. But what we owe after hundreds of years, every Black family is owed $3 million right now. At least $3 million. You if I got a family, $3 million. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And that's however you want it. Land, half okay, $3 million. Now, give hours.
Yeah, so my question is, we done everything verbally. What else is it to do? What else is it to do? What do we take some type of physical action? Do we boycott? Do we go on strike? And then if that happens, then a lot of people lose their finances fighting for this reparation. Because verbally, what else can we say?
Right, yeah, you done already told them what it is. What up?
But
Now
see,
that kind
go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
But that's the thing. That's what I was talking about earlier. You got to have the financial unity too. Exactly. Because you gotta have we have to have something that we created. That's what gets the laws and the policies passed. Is people these lobbyists, they create something that they say, listen, I need to hold on and protect this. Y'all with me? Cool. We finna go and take everything we got that we brought to the table and take it to such and such politician. Hey, we need you to pass this that's gonna make this better and it's gonna be profitable for both of us. You got to come to the table with something.
Analogy there. That's the analogy there that many people haven't yet come across. And here's where I think if we can answer this question, we'll be able to really have garner the attention for a real serious discussion around reparations. When you cite the example of the Hispanics, let's just use that for example, despite what the talking pundits say, there's a huge economic benefit with those Hispanics because corporations take advantage of that. And you look at your agriculture sector, you look at your dairy and what have you, people who look like you and I don't work in those types of capacities, right? So these guys, these big corporate boys, they get that. Okay, so they benefit, but they're asking themselves, why should I give you anything despite what I owe you? Because what economic benefits? So that takes me back to the plan of unification. You have to unify in order, and if as long as you're disaggregated, right? As long as you think about construction and concrete, aggregates is the glue that hold it all together, right? As long as you're disaggregated, you don't have a foundation. So how do we build that foundation that defines our economic opportunity we bring? We know what we've contributed. They know what we've contributed. The problem is, though, how do we find a way to let them know that, you know what, we're now forming a plan of unification to come and demonstrate not only what we bring, but in actual why we deserve what we deserve. What's your thoughts on that, Rick?
Well, I'm gonna take some accountability for myself, and I got a little bit more percent of this worked out myself. People lose hope. People lose energy. They come up with excuses and blockades.
Ain't that part of our conditioning, though? Ain't that part of what
Right,
we
right,
conditioned
right.
to
You
do?
see what I'm saying? So I'm saying those things because those it's really not complicated. It's really simple. We just got to come together and really do it. Like you said earlier, those like lobbying. You see what I'm saying? Hey, y'all believe in reparations. Out of 10 black people right now, I'm gonna say me right now. Out of every 10 black person I talk to, 7 or 8 like yeah for reparations. You know what I'm saying? You know, the other 1 or 2, they want to sign on the line, you know what I'm saying? Your 3 million go back in the pot. Cool. You know what I'm saying?
Now, of that 7 or 8 that said, yeah, they will reparations, how many you gonna actually get to do something?
There you go.
That's gonna be the
There
key.
you go.
That's
How many actually gonna
the
dig
pair of lips
in?
gonna,
Right, pair of lips, funky pair of lips.
can you get 3 of those 8 to actually commit to doing some form of work, forming some type of action to actually make a footprint in the effort we're trying to make? Because I keep bringing it back to what we started this with is politically, we got to make our votes count, because the only thing they're gonna respect is the money and the votes. So we have to begin to formulate in our minds, yes, voting is an individual right. Every citizen has that right. Okay, cool, we got that. But if we can get our whole side of town, or a large portion of our community on our side of town, to understand that, listen, before you go vote for such and such for city council, or such and such for mayor, or such and such for senator, we need to find out what is it that they're gonna do for us specifically to get these votes.
But that goes back to the education, because a lot of times we default to the Democrats.
Oh, absolutely.
We default to the Democratic vote, and that's where, you know what I'm saying, they comfortable with having our vote, and like you said, they done got way too comfortable with it. Like, we cool, and on the other side, you damn if you do, damn if you don't. Kind of. That's why I said we really got to have something or somebody in politically that represents us.
Right. So what I look at it like, we'll go back to that circle of influence. Okay, Rick, you on your side of town. You occupying the Miller's Crossing neighborhood. That's what you live in, that neighborhood. You live in that area. You know, that's where your influence is. Well, what you're gonna have to do at some point, Rick, is, and if we're gonna fight the political machine, we have to rally those communities. You got 15,000 black people live in your area. We need to get about 11,000 of those 15,000 to actually side or believe in what it is we got going on. Look, if you're the head of a household, everybody of legal age in your house that vote need to understand that we're voting for X, Y, or Z based upon what they're gonna do for us. And once you got your house understood and your neighborhood gets it, then your community gets it and understands, okay, I can go down to the council meeting and I can let Councilman Cowboy know that, look, I got 4,328 people that says they gonna vote. They gonna vote the way that we see best fit for us to vote for, So in our community, we want X, Y, and Z. What are you willing to do for that? And if you get that councilman, from that councilman, you go to get to the representative and to the senator that's assigned to your district. Hey, look, Councilman so-and-so, I have 4,300 people in my community, but we have a total of 27,000 people in this district that's willing to vote for you or you. Who's got the best plan for our community? We ain't worrying about downtown. Who gonna come over in our neighborhood? Our recreation center, the swimming pool ain't been filled in 2 summers. The kids ain't got but 1 basketball goal at the park. Who got that for us? Who's got the new library in our community? Okay, if you're the guy that we're gonna vote in, well, when we go to Austin, when you get voted in, when you go to Austin, you're gonna have to begin to push our reparations package and plan for our community. Then the representative from Cowboys Crossing, your representative, look, you got our vote. We voting for you because you're going to take our plan, and when it comes to the state legislation, you're going to represent us. Otherwise, we voting for somebody else. We have to band together in those terms and make them know, because those numbers don't sound like a lot. Oh, because when you think about voting, you think, oh, they got 15 million people here, 15 million. No, these guys get voted in office for 7,000 votes. Because it's so many local level politicians that we overlook, that you just rush through when you go vote in the big election. That means something. That guy that's a councilman, the comptroller, the House of Representatives for your district. They need them 4,000 votes, because they're gonna be in a race where somebody gonna get 17, somebody gonna get 15. Them 4,000 votes could swing an election. And if I get this coalition of voters to bring our votes to you, we need to know that you're gonna be on the floor when this gets tabled and y'all reconvene y'all session. You supposed to be down there fighting for us, and you supposed to have some more allies from these other communities that are standing and saying. So when this comes to votes, we've already acquired the votes to help support us at the next levels, because we actually took our votes and wagered them against the odds. Okay, if you don't think you need these 6,000, you ain't even got to come down here to Bethlehem Baptist Church and hear what we talking about. But Mr. Jackson, he showed up. He wants them 6,000 votes. And we telling him flat out, we're not voting for you because we think you're a hell of a guy. And we're not really voting for you necessarily based upon the streets or whatever you may fix. We're worrying about when this thing comes to governmental votes, that you're actually going to have our interest. We're not trying to hear what you're talking about as far as what the plan is for this and that. We're talking about how you gonna help us. Point blank and period. Somebody, if it's 4 of y'all running, we'll take these 6,000 votes and we'll vote for the person that don't have a chance to win, just to throw these votes away and not give them to you. But somebody gonna have to listen to what we say, and somebody gonna have to represent us. But we have to come together like that. And it's a hard thing trying to get individuals to get groupthink. But if you can get 3,500 people to go to one of these mega churches, sit and listen to one man give their tithes and offering to this one building, why we can't unify in a way outside of the church, but still within the community?
And get that real big bag. Like the year before last year, I ran for District 3, you know what I'm saying? And that was a little bit where I got a little bit of on my back, you know what I'm saying, running for city council for District 3. Really, to keep it real, right, I seen what was going on. Me, right, you can ask her. I ain't know nothing about political stuff or nothing, right? But I'm so desperate to play to myself and my people. I was like, you know what? I was like, shit, we know people, you know, we got the resources or whatever. We gotta howl like a wolf. She was like, well, she grabbed her thing. Well, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I'm campaign manager, and me going from door to door, us going from door to door, when we ask people, yeah, man, so what you want? You know what I'm saying? You know, for you know, signature and whoop to whoop. It was like, I want those 3 trees picked up off the street. I'm like, I'm like, can you get those? Like our people, our people are not situated on what we really need, right? And so this is another reason. And you know the flyer that we got. We have a flyer, I'm kind of jumping, but we have a flyer that we're going to be giving to people now about reparations. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's one of the, sponsors on the flyer, you know what I'm saying, that we're going to be passing out to people. Thousands of flyers here. Man, your vote means something, man. Stop struggling, man. $8 eggs, $5 gas, man. Stop that, man. Like, let's get serious, you know what I'm saying? And that, to me, that technique by itself with the energy that we have right now, right? Just passing out flyers and us talking is going to galvanize people. Nobody want to struggle no more. Ain't them immigrants coming over here. Black people need to come on, man. We fight each other at the drop of a hat. Right. Then we got people come over and getting our money.
So look at it like this. Say, by the grace of God, and very soon, we get those reparations. We fighting, right? Had to fight to get it. So in the fight, there's negative consequences.
It's casualties. Mm-hmm. It's casualties.
So we awarded that, now what? What they gonna take from us? They ain't gonna just get that and be cool about it. That's a fight. We won.
Right, we won.
They mad now.
They mad, but we won.
We won.
See, that's
so
the thing.
Now how the world go?
Just like when we won, even though it was a half victory, but we won with the whole emancipation situation, and then we started winning because we started getting positions we wasn't supposed to get, and then they got mad and figured out how to burn it all down and drown it underwater and everything else, and then we ended up with projects and hoods.
See, there's a systematic approach in this country and it's even been something that I've struggled with as well. When you deal with a person or an entity that can change the rules as they go, you can never win. See what I'm saying? All I gotta do is just keep moving the goalposts. I think the biggest way we get reparations is when you walked in here today, young man, you walked in here escorted with your lady, am I right?
For sure.
Okay. That's where it starts at. You got to build in-house first. You understand what I'm talking about? Too many times I go back to that word of the day, coin that phrase of the day. Disaggregation will never lead to reparations. You got to come together first, just like you launching the grassroots level. Grassroots got to start in my own yard first. You understand what I'm talking about? Because when you could get there, again, you demonstrate your power through your economic forces. Everybody knows the black dollar's got power. That's not no news except unless you're living under a rock. But when that black dollar is being distributed in so many directions, what happens if you cut a hole in the hose pipe and you're running water through it? You lose pressure. You understand what I'm talking about? I got 15 little razor holes in this water. Yeah, the water will eventually trickle out the end of the end, but guess what? When it gets out, it's not coming out with the same volume. You understand what I'm saying? It's not moving with the same level of viscosity. So in order for us to get there, we got to first of all find out what is our master plan. And when I say a master plan, when you build a city, you build anything, you come up with what we call a master blueprint. What's the master blueprint? How do we develop that? Because let's look at the reparations as the end game, right? Because we're not going to get that overnight. But what's the master blueprint start now? We got to start somewhere.
Hold on, we're going to wrap. What we're going to do is we're going to stop here. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and we're going to pick that up right there with the master blueprint. We're going to come back on the other side, and we're going to come back and get on that. All right? There's going to be a whole lot of people that aren't going to be willing to sacrifice. In any movement, it's collateral damage.
Yeah.
You just can't move without losing something. That's just by nature. That's what's going to happen.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Ricky Perry. I am Ricky Perry The Evolution. Y'all can reach me on Facebook at Ricky Perry, RICKY PERRY.
For those of you that enjoyed the content, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Stay up, stay black. You dig?